I give y'all props because men go through it too. Like, and sometimes I feel like they go through it worse than women just because of the whole like, you know, masculinity that y'all got to deal with. Like, where y'all aren't allowed to like show it, or y'all
Yeah.
are supposed to be strong. Like for example, like this past like last year, like how many kids like had committed suicide over like stuff like that. Especially like in Samoa, like there was just a suicide last week, like, and I feel like it's because of that. And it's crazy because I remember one of the kids, like, they had posted it all over their Instagram story, like that they was really gonna kill themselves. And instead of like going to check on him, like nobody said anything, like nobody reached out to him. And it was like, but everyone started posting it once like they found out that he really did it. And I was like,
You
what's the
know,
point?
one thing I realized in our community that I think we need to start changing and be more aware of. Whenever if somebody commits suicide, you guys need to investigate.
Yeah.
Or like 'cause I've seen it so many times when they commit suicide, they're just like, oh, okay, I mean, of course they cry, but then like nobody ever asks questions like, why did this person ever feel like that they had to take their life?
Yeah, and that's the
Eh,
thing. It's never like a why with
yeah,
Polynesian.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's always just like, oh, they were weak. Like,
Yeah, they were weak, or like or they use like the religious, like the God, the church reason. Oh, okay, his time came. This is his time. He's with God now. He's in a better place. Like no, like you should ask yourself, why did this person feel like? Because like that's the root. That's the root of the problem was them feeling like that they had to take their life, um, and felt like that they reached that point. Um, but a lot of times, like I feel like that's the reason why nobody wants to ask questions because nobody wants to dig up, the
nobody
the
fruit.
the truth because the truth is something happened in the home that
Yeah.
caused that, and nobody wants to deal with that, and that's something that we need to discuss more. Is not only to talk about mental health and depression and suicide, but we also need to talk about the factors and the thing that
We
unhealthy
have
things and
to,
toxic things about our culture.
yeah, we have to have the uncomfortable conversations in order
Yeah,
that,
and I remember I made a video about it this New Year's. Like, as much as I love my culture, I'm probably not matematonga for life. uh, but I am aware that my culture isn't perfect, and I know a lot of Polynesians have this pride, like our culture is perfect. The culture is perfect. Like our culture is perfect. We don't. That's nothing needs to be changed, right? And I realized there's something. Our culture is. I love my culture. It's part of my identity, part of who I am. I am part of my heritage. I will always, never always remember my roots, where I come from. I'm always forever be tongue, but I am aware that my culture is not perfect, and there are a lot of unhealthy practices, customs, traditions, generational things, curses, and cycles that we do that we have to break. And one thing I wanted to shout out to Lanu. I remember Lanu said, because she said that, culture doesn't make the people, people make the culture. We make the culture.
yep.
So whatever we decide, then the culture is always changing. Like the society changes, things change. Like our culture changes throughout the time. So if the older generation don't want to change it, then it's up to us for this generation to make those changes. But yeah, we have to start, like you said, we have to stop waiting until our kids die before we make a change, and we gotta start being proactive and start uh, speaking up now,
Yeah.
which is
I just
yeah,
they care too late.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
just feel like that's a big problem. But I also do like feel like, things like this, like things that you're doing, I love what you're doing because I really never come across a poly podcaster before. So like I give you props. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, for sure. I
That's
know.
how
I don't lie. It does give me some like pride that I'm doing. Being the first one. But yeah, I just like I told you early before we started. Like I just saw too many things happening, and I'm not just gonna sit by and let this pass on to my generation. And I don't want my kids to grow up in that culture. Uh, so then, like I said, I want them to live in a better place than I did. So that's why I'm started this, and that's why I'm very appreciative of you coming on here, sharing your story, and everybody that shared your story. Little by little, we're gonna get there.
I
We're gonna make
definitely
it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
steps to get there. Like I just like you said, like there's so many like generational curses that need to be broken, and I just feel like at this point, like it starts with us because the older, like we can't change the older
Yeah,
generation.
yeah, yeah.
We can't change them. Like we got to start with us at this point. You know,
Can't
like
change.
it's up to
Yeah,
us to change like the way everyone else was taught.
yeah. We make the culture. Like we're the
Yeah,
future leaders. We're the future leaders, future moms, future dads. We're gonna be the future for this culture. So it's up to us. Everybody out there is listening. Like it's up to us to make the culture. The culture, the future what the tongue culture is gonna be in the future is gonna be what we make of it.
yeah,
So either we just accept what it is and keep doing what our parents have been doing, which hasn't led to any kind of
nothing,
nothing at all,
no progress.
or no progress at all, or are we going to accept the responsibility of doing something about it? And
Yeah,
I hope, and I'm so happy for you joining me, and that you're doing something about it too. That's why about what I'm doing, and I just hope that what I'm doing right now reaches as much people as many Polynesians, or it doesn't matter who we are in the world, to inspire them that they can make an impact too. And like I told you before, we have to do this together. Like I can't do this on my
yeah,
own. Like all of us have to just start speaking up and stand up, and we have to start making a new culture of what our Polynesian culture is going to be when we grow older.